So about 7 years ago was when I first did the MBTI test, the 16 personalities one that you do on the internet. And I was in a team of about 5 or 6 people in a government support team. And we did the test, we got the results. I got INFP, my friend got INFJ, and our team leader got ENTJ. And she was quite a bit younger than us, but already, had risen the ranks. So that shows you that, yeah, she probably was an ENTJ. And I remember her glaring at me and being a bit annoyed at the fact that I was an introvert. She was asking me why, basically. She was like, why are you an introvert? Because the what came up was how long you can go without talking to people, how long you can go without seeing other people. And I suppose I told her I can go for about 3 or 4 days, I think. I can probably go for a bit longer now. And she found that very offensive. She said that she has to call someone up all the time. She can't just be alone and in her own thoughts. She reminds me of my sister, who's an ENFJ, who's like that. She needs to always be on the phone to someone, even if she's just going down to the shops for about 5 minutes. And different ENFJs and ENTJs I've known are like that, but some are not like that at all. There was actually an ENFJ in our team. She got ENFJ and she was very isolated. She was a single mum. She'd had a difficult upbringing, and she was one of my closest friends over those years before we fell out. And yeah, she was an ENFJ that had one friend and didn't socialize much and was a bit reclusive. And yet she was an ENFJ as well, an older ENFJ. And but she also found it a bit offensive that I was an introvert. Now, once again, I didn't really see a big difference between introverts and extroverts. Like, it doesn't say everything about what a person is, and everyone's on a spectrum anyway. My INFJ friend was at first quite offended that I was claiming to be an introvert when he said I was clearly an extrovert. Some people think I'm clearly an extrovert. They're usually introverted intuitors, and they're seeing my extroverted intuition, and they're seeing that extroverted side of me. INFPs do this a lot. They're actually introverted, but when it comes to ideas, they become extroverted, and even when it comes to sometimes to taking action, they become extroverted because that's just how they deal with the world. They have their inner world, but that's hidden, the feeling side. And if you just switch that off, you can become extrovert for an amount of time. That's why it is a bit more useful, I think, to look at how long someone can go being alone and without social interaction to see if they're introverted or not. And that's probably the only factor that you might see as even being worthy of discussion. It's like when I was living in a share house in Tokyo. I always bring that up. Like, I need you to know that I lived in Tokyo. But I used to very much, for the first month, I just hid in my room. I'd choose any time. I'd go have a shower at 3 in the morning just to avoid everybody. And after a while, my manager in that guest house, I think she was ESFP. I've got no idea though. I actually don't know what her personality type was, but she tried to get me out of my shell and she started creating parties and things like that. And anyway, I digress. So when it comes to being an introvert, I don't think you want to cling too much to that identity because it's a bit of almost like a loaded term. Like, introversion is a real thing, and your ability to socialize for a certain amount of time is a real thing, and the need to recharge your battery is a real thing. Now, my life is completely catered to being an introvert. I'm unemployed and I live alone. Just like in Tokyo, I realized I can stay in my room most of the day. People go and work. I can go for walks around my neighborhood, and I can emerge if I want at about 8 p.m. and I can say hi to everyone for an hour and then go back to my room. And I thought that quite does me. But yeah, like the ENTJ in that team who I used to work that team I used to work in, she was offended. She really was asking, like, why are you introverted? Do you hate people? And it wasn't about that. I didn't hate people. It really is about your battery needing to be recharged. I think it does depend though on the people you're hanging out with. The ENFJ in that team, many years later, I remember she was always getting angry at stuff, and she got angry at me for being an introvert again. She said, you don't. Oh yeah, because I said I don't like calling people on the phone because I don't want to put them out, or I hate imposing on people. It makes me very nervous. And she's like, well, that's just because you hate getting phone calls from people. You hate other people, and that's why you think that you contacting other people, will do the same. And unfortunately, even though that's quite harsh and unfair, there's a little bit of truth in it. If people call me in general, I do feel put out. And some people who are very close to me, cousins mainly, they might call me, and I think I feel safe and secure enough with them to answer the phone and have a proper chat. But in general, my instincts have always been, oh no, a phone call, I can't deal with this. There is some truth. Maybe if I feel like everyone hates me, you know that feeling that some of the more unhealthy INFPs are like, where, oh, everyone hates me. I don't want to impose my will on someone. I don't want to even turn up to this party because probably everyone hates me and they're just pretending they don't. And how much of that is just me hating humanity and projecting? That's the question we can leave this video on, because it does worry me. There is like that element of truth that I don't think it's fair though. I do quite like humanity, and it's really more about, like, I don't have big problems turning up to parties and socializing now anywhere near as much as I used to. And a lot of that's me realizing I do quite like people, and just being a bit more aware of the true me. Like, the true me actually does like interacting with people. The real me especially likes people who are unique and characters. And the fact that I go socializing now, my motivation to turn up to things is like, you don't know who you'll meet. There'll be people telling their personal stories, and you'll get some validation too. You'll, like, I went to a party recently, and once again, like always, I'm always a bit surprised that anybody seems to like me and genuinely wants to talk to me. And I give them chances to find someone else to talk to, and they still talk to me. And even at my age, I'm still surprised that people want to talk to me. But it's good to put yourself in those environments so that you do get reminders that you are part of the human race. And whereas if you cut yourself off from everyone, I think you can become very misanthropic. And the fact that you're avoiding everyone, you're avoiding humanity all the time, starts to seep into your mind that you just also hate people. I don't know. Does that make any sense? What a terrible video. Bye bye. I'll see you next time.